Every framework of belief that has stood the test of time has done so because there are certain pillars of truth upon which it was founded. Those truths stand independent of the structure, though at the same time incorporated by it. They are timeless, and either eternal or approaching the eternal in such a way that provides to the believers a bridge towards some aspect of the infinite. This is the reason that parishioners keep coming back. It is because they are nourished, strengthened, and comforted by the Word. In their particular faith, they find hope and something to strive toward. On the other hand, within any belief structure that lasts, arises inevitably certain pillars of belief which are false, but which become just as integrated a part of the structure itself as, trying to flip the page, as the truths to which the parishioners subscribe, so that the layman accepts part and parcel the false with the true. Of course, the struggle with this is that it is like eating empty calories. It nourishes in part, but leaves the eater longing for more. And so they come back, hoping to find that thing they missed, but never finding it because it is not there. But why does falsehood arise in the first place? Firstly, people misunderstand truth. Truth is obtained through investment, and investment implies risk. Every convert to a religious structure, philosophical construct, or intellectual theory knows this. For the only way in which they were able to see the light of their newfound faith was to risk being wrong about their former beliefs. Second, at the point that any movement takes on form or is able to recognize itself as such, it immediately begins to concern itself with its own preservation. Of course, this fear of annihilation is a sure sign that the structure is not all there yet, that it is imperfect and must continue onward with greater bravery toward the acquisition of more truth and knowledge than it presently has. But instead it puts down stakes, establishes maxims and dogmas, and immediately begins to preach or expound to the lowest common denominator. It is not unlike the overprotective mother who hopes that she may keep her children always at home, and sets up boundaries so stifling as to assure they will never leave her. The third reason for the existence of these pillars of falsehood is that they are convenient for the heart, wherein is still found a double or purely deceptive motive. Liars love lies. And wherein there is still some selfish motive within our own breast that finds falsehood useful, we will embrace lies because they serve us. Of course, to do so is a dangerous thing, since it is like setting up housekeeping with the devil. For one lie leads to another. But it can be hard to distinguish the truth from deception, and since belief structures come as a package, we often swallow both in one gulp. Here, it seems, would be a good place to leave a note of warning about what many consider to be an alternative to structured belief. Many would say that the solution to the problem I've described is to renounce structure altogether and embrace a more free-floating approach. The only problem with this is that they often abandon the whole of it, the good and the bad, and then fall prey to some other non-structure, which is no less a structure than the one they left, but that offers a path which panders more explicitly to the particular deceit of their own heart. Make no mistake here. If a person's desire is not to lay their heart open to the full searching eye of truth and allow it to change the whole creature into its image, then one is better off within a structure of some kind. Having a structure is like having a home. In most homes, it is safe, albeit flawed or dysfunctional. If you take to the highway, you may go far, but in any number of directions, and many of them bad, and you may find yourself worse off than you began. Besides which, truth's transcendence comes by drawing close to the truth. It is more likely that if you choose the path of truth, that those of your own faith or particular predilection will reject you before you reject them. Which brings us to the final reason why most people never question the false pillars of their faith: fear. You will know when you have questioned one of the false pillars of any institution by the reaction of those fellow believers, and especially leaders, when they observe your change in behavior. Their responses will vary, but most commonly you will be met with contempt, rejection, and a certain loathing reserved for non-believers. If you are particularly close to your confidant, enough to confide in them your newfound truths, you will see a look of fear about the eyes, and may be warned not to think so, or to keep such things to yourself. You may also be told that it is enough to simply believe, but there is no reason to act on such matters. I remember one such friend of mine, whom I greatly respected. He told me that he too had seen what I was seeing, but that he would never act in such a way that would bring his dissenting views to the attention of the leaders. And so, rarely does a person dare take their lives in such a course that would call into question the status quo. If they did so, they would suffer the rejection of those whom they most love and admire, and especially that of the resident dogmatists, who have long ago abandoned the path of truth for the prestige that such lies afford their aspiring hearts. And so, people muddle through with half answers. And the light shines through where it can, and grateful for it, and God bless those who do so much with what they have. And yet at the same time, the world stands in need of greater light and understanding than it currently manifests. Our institutions are falling short in providing the clarity needed to meet the demands placed upon this generation. And I cannot help but believe that there is hope in some few who might be willing to embrace all truth, even that which stands ready to destroy some of their most cherished, albeit false, beliefs. Such a person, armed with the truth, might truly set the world upside down. God bless you. The Trackless Path.